Slot machines have been growing in popularity. They're currently exempt from rules limiting how much players can wager on similar games found in gambling shops on the high street.
But from September, new rules being introduced by the government will mean 18 to 24-year-olds will only be able to place a maximum £2 stake per game, while anyone over that age will be able to place up to £5.
We're joined now by Colin Ware from the charity GamCare, who was part of the consultation on the measures. Good morning.
Good morning.
I imagine quite a lot of thought has been put into this consultation and these measures. Why £2 and £5? Because there was a wider limit considered, wasn't there?
There was, Naggy, yeah, thank you. It's been a long time coming. So the regulations that exist currently have been around for a long time. If you look at the data, the current average stake on slots is only 60p. So £2 is still a significant amount. I think 97% of all games on slots are below £2. So this really covers a lot of the current market. I think the regulations and the suggested stake limits, £2 is still a lot of money.
Do you think it's too high?
I think it could be too high. I think we would say at GamCare we sort of campaign that it should be £2 for everybody, and I think I'd still say that should be the case.
And you're referring to the age difference here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why there's an age difference. Age doesn't determine how much money you have in the bank and how much you can afford to lose.
I'd agree. And at 18, anybody's an adult and can gamble. So always saying that you're not a real adult until you're 25. We don't do that for anything else. And I think the majority of people who call the National Gambling Helpline, we get 1,000 calls a week to the helpline from people who are struggling with their relationship with gambling. And a lot of people mention online slots. So 5 years ago, it was around 34%, so 1 in 3 people would say their online slots is an issue for them. Last year, that was 60%. So that's a real increase.
Colin, your job title is Lived Experience Manager. There's a reason, isn't there? Because you had an addiction yourself to online gambling. Can you put yourself back into that place for a moment and ask yourself the question whether this would have made any difference to you?
Thanks, Charlie. The short answer is yes. It would have made a significant difference financially. I think I still needed to speak to people to work through the issues and work through why I gambled. But so that sort of mental health support is still really necessary, but it would have really limited the financial harm.
OK, as I understand it, it is possible for you as an online gambler to be held within these maximum figures in one place, but there's nothing to stop you just going on to a different site and doing that again, and thereby reaching a much higher total. Is that right? That's
right. I think one of the calls in the current consultations in the white paper is for a single customer view, which means that you should only be able to gamble up to certain limits across all online accounts.
Is that doable, technically? Is that possible?
Today, no. But it's something that is being worked towards. And certainly I personally, and we at GamCare will do support real calls for that to be implemented as soon as is possible.
Maybe maybe just not understanding this. I've played slot machines. I've never played online gambling machines. So this stake, £2, say, for example, for 18 to 24-year-olds. So you place a stake, £2, right? That's the most you can place on that game. Can you then play another game on the same site, £2?
Yeah, and it's £2 per spin.
Per spin?
Yeah.
So having the limit doesn't stop you doing it 100 times?
No, there's no limit on the amount of times people can spin. There are proposed restrictions on affordability, so how much people can lose, if you like, before there are checks to see whether that is affordable. They are, again, part of the same consultation, and we support calls and support implementation.
Doesn't that sound more sensible? Like a bigger limit, an overall limit, rather than... Because, OK, so you've got a smaller maximum, just do it more times. If you're addicted and, you want to be playing, you just do it more times.
And I think there's also... This applies to online slots only, and the online slots market is huge. Yes. So it made £3 billion in the UK last year. over £3 billion was online slots.
And the companies will argue they're paying taxes and that's feeding back into the economy. Just to put the other side there.
But I think we also need to... I mentioned earlier the harm that's caused by online slots specifically. And I think companies need to recognise that. Like I said, the restriction in stake, even to £2 for everybody, wouldn't be a huge...
And Colin, just give us a sense. I mean, there'll probably be people literally doing online gambling as we speak. That's the point, isn't it? You can do it all the time, constantly. If you have in the space of, 10 minutes, how much can someone lose? How much money can disappear, which they may not have in a very short space of time?
You're going to check my maths now, Charlie, but the average slots spin speed was 7 seconds.
7 seconds?
Last year. So in 7 seconds, you could currently stake anything, but you will be able to stake £2. So in 10 minutes, that's a significant sum.
Okay,
it's over
yes,
over
I'm not trying
£1,000.
to challenge your maths, but
over £1,000
immediately
an hour.
we're all thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
That is a lot of money straight away in a very short space of time.
Yes, it's over £1,000 an hour. So yeah, that gives you at £2. But the proposals are £5 for people over 25. So you times it by 2.5.
Really puts it into context. Thank you very much for taking us through that.